When I was a young kid in 2005, I remember getting one of the greatest gifts that I can remember for Christmas one year, the Nintendo GameCube. The Nintendo GameCube quickly became a staple of my childhood, and it is the reason to this day I am such a huge fan of Nintendo. I have invested thousands of hours playing the GameCube. Still to this day, some of my favorite games like Wario World, WarioWare, Pikmin 2, Kirby's Air Ride, and my all-time favorite, Super Smash Bros. Melee. I could not get enough of this game. In 4th grade, I used to run home from my elementary school that was down the street just to get back on my save file. There was something about that new challenger approaching pop-up that really would get my 9-year-old blood pumping. I had made so many memories playing that game, whether it was doing the black hole glitch with your friends or playing adventure mode. There was one thing that I remembered more than anything.
PK Frost!
Who is this guy? Who would want to play as him? Why does he have a yo-yo? Why does he have a baseball bat? And can you explain what this is? What is that? As a confused child, as you should be, looking at a specimen like this, I decided to research Ness. I quickly found out that Ness is from a Nintendo franchise called Mother, and he is the main character of the 3rd game called Earthbound. He carries a baseball bat as his main offensive weapon. He has a yo-yo because he's like 13 years old, and he was born with these psychic powers called PSI. I remember telling my older brother about this new information I figured out about that weird kid from Super Smash Bros. Melee, and he told me that he was familiar with Earthbound and that we can go buy it so we could play it on a Super Nintendo. When we got home and we set it up and played it, man, I remember thinking to myself that Earthbound was the craziest game that I have ever seen. I could not believe how much different this game was than any other game I've ever played. It was an RPG-based game. It had a fantastic storyline. There was very strange humor and constant insanity going on at all times. I really loved it. The animations were freaky, and I remember them giving me nightmares. I mean, take a look at some of these enemies. We got unassuming local guy, we got floating lips, ego orb, crested book, and not to mention that the main boss in the game is literally a manipulation of your emotional state. I have been dying to own a complete in-box copy of Earthbound for my collection for a long time now, but there is obvious reasons why I have not done so. In this series, I'm going to show you guys that it's still completely possible to collect rare vintage video games on a budget. I'm going to be using my reselling experiences to flip my way to owning a copy of complete in-box Earthbound, and I'm only going to pay $20 for it. This is Earthbound from $20. For this challenge to be interesting, I have set some ground rules that I'm going to have to follow on my pursuit for Earthbound. The first rule is the only money that I can use has to come from the estimated profit that I am expected to make during this series. I have to purchase items that I think I can flip for a good margin so that I can build up my cash revenue. The second rule is I cannot buy any items online. My main methodology of finding items has always been local, so I'm going to keep it that way. Local means using apps like Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp, and to diversify where my items come from, I'm also going to be including yard sales as well as local thrift stores in my area. Make sure you guys are subscribed. This is very important. Once I get my complete in-box Earthbound, you guys are going to win a complete in-box video game as well. So one lucky subscriber is going to be winning a complete in-box video game if they subscribe during this series. So make sure you guys are subscribed with notifications on, and you will have a chance at winning a very expensive video game. All right, so that's enough talking. Let's get this series officially started. What better place to start this series than my local thrift store where almost everything is under $20. I got my $20 right here, so let's go inside and see what we can find. So the first aisle that I'm heading to, you probably think is the electronics section or the video game section because that makes you the most money, but it's actually the cookware section. I have sold many pots and pans on eBay, and there is one brand that I look for specifically called Calphalon. I have sold used Calphalon pans for upwards of $50 a piece, and they are usually just a couple bucks at the thrift store, so I always pick them up. As you can see, I did find one Calphalon pan, and you can see the logo. It'll be imprinted on the bottom of the pan or the pot, and this one that I found is in horrible shape. It's all burnt up, so it's a no-go. I did end up putting it back, but if you do see any Calphalon pans or pots, make sure you guys pick those up. I made my way past the kitchen section and I noticed there was a pasta holder container. I always like to take a look at anything ceramic. I am a huge fan of vintage cookie jars and they have made me a lot of money in the past. So anything ceramic I want to take a double check at, and it always catches my eye. I gotta make sure that it's not worth anything if I'm not passing up something that is super valuable. And unfortunately, this one was not valuable, but it still was really cool, but I ended up putting it back. I made my way to the electronics section and I noticed a Shark vac mop for only $7. It's kind of like a steam mop and a vacuum put together. I noticed that online these were selling for $40 brand new shipped, so I ended up passing on that. The electronics section was really picked over at this thrift store. It was right before Christmas, but I did find a Coleman camping rechargeable lantern for $6. And when I looked it up, it really wasn't selling for much, so I passed on that as well. I made my way to the front of the store and I noticed there was a Wii Rock Band set for sale. It did not have the foot pedal and it looked like it was in good condition. They were asking $20 for it, but I didn't even know if it worked, and to ship these is very, very hard, and for $20, I didn't really want to take the risk on it, so I ended up passing. I went to the sporting goods section and I noticed that there was a backpack on the floor. I picked it up and I saw that it was a DeMarini baseball backpack and it was brand new. It still had all of the tags attached on it. I know that brand new stuff always sells very well on eBay, and with it only being $10, I went ahead and figured that this would be the perfect first item to get to start off our series and to start the journey.
I wear clothes like it's on to go every day.
There's like 2 pages of highlights.
Just this.
You can probably keep that one. Just this? Alright. Comes out to $10.98.
You can keep the 2 cents, so just make it even.
No problem.
Thank you.
No problem. You have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Take care.
Okay, so we officially got our first item of the series. It is a DeMarini backpack. It is in very nice condition. It still has the tags on it. It is a 2021 edition. There really wasn't much in that thrift store, so I kind of had to pick what I could find. And I was doing some research on these, and it seems like the new ones, the same exact model, sell for $70 new. And this one has a Illinois Chargers tag on it, so I'm gonna have to disclose that in the listing, but it's very easy to just put a patch over that. I think I could sell this right around the $45 to $50 range. These are very easy to ship too. You just get a garbage bag that you can't see through, put it in there, and you tighten it up, and you ship it out that way. I will take my expected $50 and I will minus my $17 for my fees and shipping. I will minus my initial cost, which is $11, which is gonna leave us at $22 expected profit. So I still have my $9 left over for my $20. So that leaves us at $31 that we have in our bank to spend. With that being said, we have $31. Let's hit up another thrift store. Right away, I made my way over to the video game section because this thrift store has one of the biggest selections in my area. There was a few Wii games, but they weren't worth anything. I kept looking, but all of the titles were mostly sports games, so there really wasn't anything to pick up, so I passed on everything. I made my way over to the electronics section, and I was trying to find maybe a VHS player or a DVD combo, because I have done very well selling these in the past. I found a few on the shelf that were reasonably priced, but after looking them up on eBay, they either weren't selling at all or they weren't selling for much, so I passed. A little further down on the shelf, I found a big blue box, so I looked inside. It was a handheld steamer, and it looked like it was complete and it was in decent condition, but after researching it online, I decided to pass on it because it really wasn't selling for much. I went over to the sporting goods section and I found a ton of Little League baseball mitts for a few dollars each. Some were in rough condition, but most of them looked pretty good. After looking them all up, there really wasn't any that were super valuable, so I went ahead and passed on them. I tend to only buy baseball mitts that are very expensive and sought after, so I can sell them really quickly. Otherwise, it can take up to a year to get rid of them in my own experiences, so I really don't mess with them. I noticed a snowboard in the corner, so I decided to look it up online. It was selling for a decent price, so I got pretty excited, but when I looked closer at it, I noticed that the thrift store had did their research and they priced it pretty close to retail value, so unfortunately I had to pass on it. I made my way to the front of the store where they keep their more valuable items such as retro video games, antiques, and collectibles. There was a GameCube that they had with no controllers, and they were asking $90 for it, which was pretty insane. There was also a few Super Nintendo games, but they priced them pretty much at market value, so there was no money to be made. But I noticed these leather motorcycle gloves on the shelf, and I thought they were extremely well made and cool looking, so I took a closer look at them. I looked them up on eBay, and there was some listings selling close to $200. I couldn't find a price on them, but I just knew I had to have them. Our second pickup of the series are going to be these motorcycle gloves. These are made out of titanium and they're made by a brand called Icon. They are very cool. They're very crazy looking, that's why I looked them up. I saw them on the shelf. It seems like some of these are actually going for around $180 to $200. There was no price on these, so I went up to an associate and I asked her how much they were. She told me they were $25. She also didn't seem too happy that I had a GoPro on my backpack. I went up to go pay for these and one of the associates said I could not record anymore. I couldn't record the transaction because there was money involved, and I respected their wishes. They seemed actually really upset about it, but I paid her $28 for these with the tax. So I got these gloves for $28 and it seems like they're going for around $200. So I'm gonna say that I could sell these for $200 just because how rare they are. So I'm expecting $200 minus my $42 for all of my fees and shipping, minus my $28 that I initially paid, which leaves me at $130 profit from just these gloves. That brings our new total for the money that we can spend to $133. Earlier this morning, I was messaging people on Facebook just to see what kind of items that they might have that might help us in this series, especially early on. I messaged this one lady who was selling a rooster, and I asked her if she had any video games or Pokemon cards that she had lying around that she'd consider selling. And she actually does have video games. She has a VR set. She's 70 years old, and I think she broke her foot a little while ago, and her friend got her a gag gift, which was the VR set. I don't know, I guess they're just rich. But I asked her how much she would sell it for, and she said, I will give it to you for $100. And that was a VR set that was used once maybe. She said she didn't like it. So I'm on my way to go pick that up right now, and I'm gonna use our bank to purchase that.
Gene?
Yeah, Gene.
I'm Chris.
I'm Gene.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So here it is. I left it out of the box. I don't know. All I can tell you is I opened it once. I tried it. You're too young to even know what kind of medical problems I had. But when I realized you have to wear the headset, you know what a floater is? You're too young to know that.
Like eye floater?
Yeah, you know what those are? Yeah. So you can't wear a headset if you have a floater. So I just put it away and I never did it again.
Okay.
Yeah. So you want to...
No, I
Wanna
trust
look
you.
at it? And, I mean, I don't even know what's in here. It's been so long since I opened it. Yeah.
No, I
Okay.
trust you.
Okay, yeah, you can see it's in mint condition. So what happened to the rooster? Is that just how
Yeah.
you contact people? And,
It is, yeah,
Really?
I do,
It's
yeah.
just a
I
little-
message people randomly,
and just say, okay.
and I saw your rooster, and I was like, maybe she's got some other stuff. So.
As I'm an old lady, that's pretty funny. Yeah, well, I do have other stuff, but you don't want the rooster. But do you know anybody who wants baseball cards?
What kind of
You wanna
baseball
put
card?
this away? Help me. I don't want to break the box. Here, just hold. You know what I mean? It's wait. It's pressure sense. You know how?
Yeah.
It's like trying to put your television back in the original box. It doesn't happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that's $100. That's for you. Mickey Mantle, Willie. I don't even know the names of these people. Yogi Bear. I got everything.
Yogi Bear?
I think wasn't there a baseball player, Yogi Bear?
I'm not sure.
Maybe, I'm sure. Yeah, Ernie Banks. Yeah, these are all really old.
You said they're
And
from your husband?
They were my
I see
husband.
one.
Well, he's still alive. I mean, but they were his when he was Willie Mays. I think I might have 500 baseball cards. Ernie Banks, Roger Maris. Yogi Berra. Yeah, that was somebody famous. He was a New York Yankee. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
These are really, really old. These would be from the 50s. And I never paid, in order to sell them at a top dollar, I would have to have them, I think it's called certified. I'm not going to spend
Graded?
money. Oh, graded.
Yeah, you get them
Thank
graded?
Yeah. And so I never did it. But I always tell people, if anybody's interested in baseball cards, contact me because I probably have the card you're looking for.
I may be interested, actually.
All right. Well, why don't I give you my, all right, pay me for this and take this out of my car. Okay.
I
great.
appreciate you meeting me
All
up.
right, and then, all right, you take that and I'm going to close this and I'm going to give you my name.
Okay.
And then what I can do, cards, you email me, okay? And
Yeah.
then I can actually send you, I think and then we just never sold them, but I think I have an inventory, pretty comprehensive inventory.
You said like 500 cards?
There's a lot of cards, I have to look.
Do you know why they're in those like acrylic cases?
I put them in there trying to protect them. They're not all in acrylic cases.
Okay.
But no,
You said there's like 500?
I'll go home and look. There's a lot.
Would you be interested in selling all of them?
I have to ask my kids, but probably. I mean, how many years are you going to stay in the basement?
That's true.
And I keep moving. I've
Yeah.
moved like 4 times in the past 20 years. I think I've had 4 different addresses. So it's just, so you don't even want to see my rooster. I go home. I got
Your rooster?
my car. Yeah, I got my rooster in my car.
I hope you sell your rooster though.
Me too. I enjoy Aqua.
Thank you.
Okay, so I got the VR set. That is insane. It's like in mint condition. She never used it. It is the 128 gigabyte one, so these are selling for about $300 used, and I paid her only $100. So if I'm able to sell this for $300 like a lot of other ones are selling for, and I minus my fees and shipping, which is $63, minus my $100 that I paid, I am making $137 profit that we're going to be adding onto our bank. So while I was buying the VR, she showed me some baseball cards and I had no idea what I was looking at, but she said she has maybe 500 cards from the 1950s because they were her husband's. And after looking up some of these cards, I think that these are the real deal, cream of the crop. Some of these cards were like $150 that I was looking at, so I am probably gonna buy these from her. She gave me her email and I sent her an email and she told me that after Christmas, she'll get in contact with me and she's gonna sell me these cards. I'm gonna head home so I can show you guys everything that I got today, and I'm gonna wrap up episode 1 because I think we did a phenomenal job. Okay, so here's the official 3 items that are starting off our series. We got the motorcycle gloves at the thrift store. These are titanium plated, and these are very rare, and I guess they're sought after. A lot of bikers want these, so I'm happy to pick these up at the thrift store for so cheap. Here's the item that started us off with our $20. This is a brand new DeMarini backpack. It still has the tags. I should have no problem selling this on eBay, but if there's any issues, I will just sell it locally. There is a big baseball following in my area, whether it's little league players or people who play in high school. They look for backpacks like these to bring to practice. The last item of the day is this Oculus Quest 2. It is in brand new condition. It was used once. It is the 128 gigabyte model. These sell for about 300 used, and I should have no problem getting that because this is basically brand new. I still can't believe that I bought this from that lady and that was the story she told me. It is crazy, but that just goes to show that there is deals out there. I will keep you guys updated on those baseball cards that lady showed me as well. She said that she's going to message me after Christmas and we can discuss details further on me purchasing them. We are ending today's video at an estimated profit of $270, and that is a great way to start off episode 1 because we have a lot of money now to play with to get closer to our Earthbound Complete in Box. Make sure you guys are subscribed because at the end of the series, after I get my game, one lucky subscriber is going to get a Complete in Box game as well. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm sure it's going to be awesome. So make sure you're subscribed and you have notifications on. That's going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.